Thanks for staying with us. So last week, as parents, we started the conversation on the NYSC posting graduates to volatile states. Today, we're discussing the House of Representatives considering discontinuation of the National Youth Service Corps scheme in its entirety. The NYSC Act is already billed for the second reading. Now, the question is, should NYSC be scrapped? What are your general thoughts on this? You can call us on 081-270-53687, 091-390-76948. You can tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your View TVC so we can read your tweets. Right, so as I said, last week we were talking about postings, and that's not what we're discussing today. Our focus, however, is should the entire scheme be scrapped, especially because many believe that it has outlived its purpose and that right now there are other ways and methods for getting that integration that we seek amongst ethnic groups. But others are saying, listen, there are other communities that really need these schemes, that their entire function is based on these youngsters coming in to teach and help the communities. What are your general thoughts on this? Let me start with BC.
Okay, I would say that, first of all, I would ask a question, what's the purpose of the NYSC, which is basically for integration, so that everybody is seen as one Nigeria. You are able to intermingle with other tribes, other ethnic groups, learn about their way of life, intermarry, and all of that. So when you graduate from school, instead of serving in your local community, you're deployed somewhere else so that you can have an experience of their cultures, you know, just in a bit to see ourselves as one Nigeria, one people. And I'll also ask a question, which is, has the NYSC been able to achieve the purpose for which it has been set? We're not very good at reviewing what we have from time to time. So we always allow the problems to linger. It's now when everybody's now shouting, scrap it, scrap it. You now stand up and go, okay, let's scrap it. But if we had started taking from the inception of NYSC, you know, reviewing where we have gone wrong, reviewing if it's really working, changing methodologies to see that, you know, everything is work in progress. It's not, okay, once people shout, okay, let's close it down. You were supposed to do some things, first of all, to lead us to that place, you know, but we always wait till everything just blows. But I would also say, Mariah, sorry, I would also say that now that we have realized that it's no longer serving its purpose, it can be worked on. We can actually, if we're really ready to work on it, we can work on it. We can make it go back to the original reason it was created. But I don't think we're in that space now. I would advise that for now, let us scrap it.
I'll come back to you, Matt. I think I really like what you said, because everything should be seen as a project. It's a project, and it should be monitored and evaluated per time. Yeah. And that's something that we're not used to doing around this part of the world.
Mariah, if you talk to anybody who works in the ministry, they have the form. They fill the form. But they fill the questionnaires.
Data, how do you measure? How do you actually use that data?
Because if you, sometimes we assume that these people don't do those reviews. But when you ask them, they do. They all fill those forms, they fill those questionnaires. But we are doing it as the way we go to school. We do it so that we can pass. We do it so we can get promoted. But we're not really... We're not doing the job so that we understand it to be better. We do it, so we're taking the process. So they might be doing it, and they'll tell you, I'm sure anybody, all of that are working right there, and they'll say, what's the Biajulu saying? What does she mean? We do this thing. We have our review. We have our numbers. But we're not seeing the results trickle down. And we're not seeing your responsiveness.
Interpreting the data you collect.
Yes. We're not responding to it. So we collect, but we're not responding. So I don't agree with BC that NYSC has failed us. I actually think, I know many people that are married right now, and their only reason for marriage is because they met the person while they were in NYSC. I know people that they'll say, my best friends, we served together. These are my best friends, we served together. I know people that they've resettled in locations that they had no idea about, simply because they were taken to serve there and they saw opportunities. So if we're looking at it, that all the things it was meant to do, it didn't fail. What we are responding to now is the high level of insecurity in Nigeria, and we cannot open our eyes with this insecurity and prioritize a system, a process above the lives of human beings. So I think it should be reviewed, not scrapped.
Okay. All right, Nima, what are your thoughts?
We're on the same page. But I personally do not think they should scrap it. I think, like Tokwe said, we are responding to the insecurities on ground. And most of the time, aside the insecurity on ground, you see the objections to the NYSC as a system is usually the mindset of some parents. I'm giving my child the life of comfort. Why would they send her to one bush or him to one far place? And the purpose of the NYSC is to promote unity, cohesion, and resilience and all of that to prepare us for life. In some countries around the world, they draft you straight to their military. You do a year, 2 years in their military before you can qualify as a graduate of that to even get any kind of employment, whether private or public, within those countries. And it's for a reason. Some countries are poised and ready for their defense. We now have an issue on ground. If people say they should just start to deploy straight to military, Nigerians who want to be protected will start to scream. My picking will go die. We always have an objection one way or the other to issues on ground. But the insecurity on ground now is one that I would never say that they should overlook when they know they can't protect lives, because we don't even work with data. I'm sorry to deviate, but this thing is bugging me. I don't know whether it's every week or every Monday. When I drive through Apapa Woro-Shoke Expressway to work every week, I see bodies, fresh bodies, just scattered on the express. Nobody dead.
Wow.
Cars would have climbed. You know, it's usually a struggle, last-minute struggle, not to join other cars driving over a body on the road. Yes. Nobody takes this data. Nobody works with it. And you want us to send. Yesterday, we're reading the papers, and a young lady had gone for her transcript in Abuja.
And later told
and, you know, 2-year-old graduate who didn't have any business being in Abuja, except to go and personally process transcript that they will not give to her personally. And she was found dead in the drains. This data, these constant reports are things that will worry any parent, even any individual, not to talk of parents. So if government has to deal with those little issues, things as laudable as the NYSC will be allowed to go on. I like the NYSC. There are certain benefits to the NYSC. One of which is that you can raise funds if you have a business mindset. For a year, I saved the whole of my alawi. I didn't spend it. So for some people, it is for that. For some people, it's just the opportunity to see that there are opportunities out there. Do you know that the distributor for Ama Wonder in Lagos was saying to me, the original idea for that company was not from North, and it's produced in the North. It's an Easterner who settled and farmed in the North that produces that thing. My cousin went there with a dentistry knowledge and got a lecturership position in Kano. And today he's living fine. His family, everybody, they're enjoying Kano. So we need. See, Nigeria is bigger than Lagos. Yeah. We need somebody to expand and expose us to these opportunities, and so people can take it.
Let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still talking about if NYSC should be scrapped. And some would argue that, listen, the world has gone past where we are, and that there's so much to do technological-wise, and there are so many solutions that we need in Africa that NYSC is just drawing us back in. We are still talking about integration, when really we're talking about technological breakthroughs. So there are different arguments, and I'll come to you, BC. What are your thoughts? Because as much as I agree with Tokwe and Nima that maybe we should suspend it because of the insecurity, but going back to the real core of it,
are we achieving the purpose
to what others are doing? Do we still want to remain at this level where we are constantly trying to just integrate, when really we should be talking more about innovation?
Thank you. I'm going to answer that question in a bit, but I wanted to talk about the sincerity of the NYSC program. I remember that even in my days when I served, NYSC was for people who did not have a choice, so to speak, because from the beginning, there were parents who knew that their children, rich parents, who knew that their children were not going to be deployed anywhere else. They set them up. They picked the company they want their children to serve, and they worked their transfer there. People like us who had nobody to work for us were deployed to states that we had nobody. You just have to go there, do your service, and come back. So the people who made the laws, first of all, did not let their children serve in any place. They selected where they wanted their kids to serve. They prepared them for it. So the people you see in camp, most of the time, are people who had no choice. For some, their parents are just, okay, they can let them do whatever. But most of them were people who had no choice, who had no connections to send their children wherever they wanted their children to serve. So we had people from the beginning. We had people who were not interested in any form of integration when it came to their children. So it's the general, the masses who were left to be, so we need to be sure of that integration and that unity we claim that we want. We need to be sincere. Do we really want it? The people, the powers that be, the people who make these laws, do they really want it? I served. I experienced NYSC. I served in Benue. I was in Makurdi for 1 whole year. For me, it was a waste. So you see this business Nima was talking about, it's good if you're at that point. But we know that most young people are not there. When they graduate from school, their eyes are still up. I was one of those. I wasn't thinking business at the time. So my 1 year was wasted. I go to local government in the morning. I come back, nothing happens. If they had taken me through a training.
You were meant to be the solution there.
No, hold on. If they had taken me through a training after school, let's say employability, for me to gain employability skills, for me to gain so and so, depending on the field I wanted to focus on, and I was trained for it at that time, I would be better prepared to handle the job after NYSC.
I don't want you to drown that first point to me, which is for me. I mean, for me, that popped for me because these NYSC was created by the elites. Yeah. But unfortunately, the vision is not being driven by them because their own children don't necessarily have to go experience it. So it's for the masses, and then it might defeat the entire purpose of the integration that we seek. Let me take this call from Yomi. Yomi, are you there? Thanks for calling.
Morning.
Morning, you're live. Go ahead.
Yeah, my name is I'm Yomi. This is my first time calling on this.
Welcome to the show.
All right. On this NYC issue, I don't think the NYC is not important, but given where we are now as a country, given the insecurity challenges we're having all over the country, I think desperate times calls for desperate measures. So I believe that NYC should be restructured, not to be scrapped completely. And when I mean restructured, like I don't know the name of the lady, I don't know. But you're talking about some countries where they put in their security to set for like 1 year or 2 years. So usually, security, people are saying.
I didn't get it. Yes.
But BC, you see, all these things you're saying, because I have been a coach, I've spoken at a few of this NYC orientation during the 3 weeks program. They are already doing many of these trainings for them. Trainings to increase employability, skill acquisition. Many NYC camps do it. But what I think is the insincerity and the lack of human treatment, the way we treat human beings in the camp is terrible. I remember Sanzi posting online that somebody reported the camp where she served and that the camp was worse off. I think it was Bayelsa. And people were saying, Bayelsa, the place is horrible, the camp is dirty, there are no toilet facilities. And that when she served there years back, she had the same experience. And 5 years down the line, it's still the same thing. So we have a project called NYSC that, despite all the funding that went to it, was still not well maintained. So if our representatives were really listening to us right from time, we always wait until things break down before we deal with it. We would have started evaluating them on a regular basis. That what we are hearing reports that your camp in Bayelsa is not a safe place for human beings because just a few years back, like 3 NYSC members died because of the environment that they were in. But still now, that wasn't addressed then, and we're not addressing it now. So it's not about scrapping. It's about discussing with them. It's about how can we make this thing better. It's about evaluating, are the people that are in this thing, do they understand what they are meant to do? Do they understand that they have the lives of Nigerians' future generation for 1 year to mold? And that their job is to mold positively and not make them feel like we are suffering here, because many people serving feel like we're just here to suffer for 1 year.
All right, let me take this call from Ayo. Ayo, are you there? Hello, Ayo. Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yes, my name is Ayo. I think I concur with what the last speaker speaking is saying about NYC. What is the whole value about NYC? We're having insurgency everywhere. We're having insecurity everywhere. And what the House want to say is they want to discuss the issue of our children, deploying them to states that are not secured. I think what they need to do is make this an optional. I know we all know that some people, that their children school in abroad, they already have where their children want to serve. Yes. And those minorities that don't have where their children want to serve, make it an optional. Make NYSC service an optional. If you want to serve, choose where you want to serve, then you will be deployed to that. But if you don't want to serve, let government create an avenue whereby these children will know that, okay, after my schooling, it's either I choose to want to serve or I choose not to serve. So what?
All right. So, but you see, when I hear, I come to you, Nima. Okay, let me hear your thoughts first.
I'm not disagreeing with Tokwe and BC, but the issues are not only government issues. It's the level of corruption of us Nigerians in every civil service, government agency that we work. It's Nigerians who are working in the NYSC who would do redeployment for you for 50,000 in camp. It's Nigerians that, you know, like me and you, who are there, who are worsening these issues and telling the big man, no, God, don't worry, we'll put your daughter where she will not suffer, as if NYSC is meant to suffer. This is talking about people who serve by choice. They are not up to 2% of the people who serve. Most of us who serve, we are not serving by choice. The country has said that if you don't have your discharge of finished letter, you can't get a job. And most people have big dreams of where they want to work in Nigeria, so you have to get your finished letter. But then, it is not only those whose parents can place them. What about those remaining people you're talking about? Didn't they survive? Are they not going to go there and languish in suffering and be crying every day? You're supposed to make something out of the situation you're in. As a Nigerian, and we know how resilient we are, it's a Nigerian that will go to Liberia and start a business, or Ghana, that the government will have to put a policy in place to displace that Nigerian from surviving, because we survive everywhere. It is situations like this that makes us resilient.
Somebody was saying that if we restructure it such that these young people that are in school actually apply for themselves. You research the communities you would like to work, either in the north, in the south, in the east, outside your original state of origin or your region.
Yes.
And then you apply there, you research it, you present a paper on it and why you want to go to that community, you practically apply there. They then invite you. So there's a proper structure where it makes it more exciting and desirable for young people. Not that someone will just deploy you somewhere.
I also think
these are ways you can make it more interesting.
I also think that we always throw money at every challenge. Our only incentive is money. So for NYSC, the only incentive is you're going to get paid, and then we increase the alawi. While in actual fact, it is the experience. So when you make that opportunity available, that people get incentives of not just that you will get a job, which was sort of the attraction in the beginning. You get a good job. The environment where you get to work, you're treated like you are royalty. Some villages celebrate you because, this is a doctor coming in to be. They used to do it, but we no longer do it now. So we need to go back into that reevaluation and say, these are the communities that critically needs youth core members, and these are what people they need. So we're not just saying a doctor should go to somebody that is not a teacher. A microbiologist should go to a village and become a teacher there, because what they need is a teacher. So we would groom people that can later end up staying there to work and bringing their fresh ideas into that community.
There is. I think we have to wrap up on this, because we're trying to bring in the DG of NYSC. Hopefully, he comes in as soon as possible and continue this conversation with him. So we'll see his thoughts on this. Let's go on a break now. When we come back, we'll move on to other topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back.